taon medyo mahaba-haba na po. Marami na pong mga naganap, hindi lang po sa ating bayan kundi sa buong mundo. So ibig pong sabihin nagbabago din ang pamantayan, ano, kung ano yung mga level sa pinag-uusapan po natin ang human rights. Ang human rights po ay masasabi natin kapatid po 'yan ng God-given right. So napakahalaga po nito. Kung babalikan po natin ang ating kasaysayan, laging lalo na po sa takbo ng politika natin ngayon, kung naririnig na po natin ang mga ganitong nangyayari sa Pilipinas na ganito, may ganitong nangyari, may EJK, may ganito. So nasaan ang human rights ng mga panahon na ito? At nung mga nangyari po sa Davao din, nung mga nakaraan na ah, masasabi natin na mayroong mga karapatan na nasadlak. Ano? So nasaan ang human rights? So ang tinatanong po natin, ito ba ang dahilan para bigyan natin sila ng karagdagang kapangyarihan para sa panahon nito ay makasabay ang human rights? Kasi po sa mga panahon dati, nung bata pa ako, at siguro naman ang iba dito ay parang anak ko na o ate ko na o kaedad ko, naramdaman natin talaga na may kapangyarihan ng human rights. Pero itong mga nagdaan na panahon, lagi natin tinatanong, nasan sila? So hinihingi ko po sa inyo na itong aking pong panukala, mabigyan sila ng panibagong umpisa na ah, makatahak ng bagong landas upang sila po'y makasabay. Ano? Alam nyo, hindi lang ho dito sa Pilipinas ang usapin ng human rights, pati sa EU sumasabog ang issue ng human rights, international criminal court. Lahat po 'yan iyan po ang issue sa buong mundo, human rights. So siguro panahon na po talaga, mahal naming chairman, amin pong professor, na atin pong tignan at pag-aralan kung ano po itong mga nasa panukala na ito. Maraming salamat po, Ginoong Chairman.
Unahin na po natin yung CHR Charter. At sinabi nga ni Senator Padilla, 1987. Kasi ang legal basis yata ninyo not after the Constitution would be, was it an EO? Is it an yes?
It was an EO.
Yes, an EO, no? So, okay, so yun yata yun. So na-situate na natin. Sige, so we'll ask the committee secretary, Attorney Mortel to make of record the presence of resource persons for all the three subject matters. But I am elated and glad that the BIR is represented by 4 lawyers. So they want to make sure that the nomads will be taxed properly. Yan. So I'm sure yan ang mission nila dito, pinadala ni Commissioner. Make sure matax. Pero mamaya i-discuss natin kasi di ba balance eh. Gusto natin i-attract, ayaw naman natin siyempre masyadong pigain na to the point na hindi sila ma-attract to come here. But okay, we go back to our first subject matter, the CHR Charter. So we will recognize the chairman of the CHR, Chairman Palpalatok. Yes, sir, you have the floor.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. I have an opening statement. Magandang umaga po, Mr. Chair of the Committee on Justice and Human Rights, Senator Aquilino Pimentel, the third, and the member of the committee, Senator Robin Hood C. Padilla, and the rest of the members of the committee. No less than the Constitution mandated the creation of an independent commission on human rights and enumerated its powers and functions. Pursuant to this constitutional fiat, executive order was issued in May 5, 1987, establishing the Commission on Human Rights. Executive order, however, did not elaborate the powers and functions of the CHR. As a result, the Commission has encountered challenges in the exercise of its mandate. The Commission was vested by the fundamental law the power and function to investigate all violations of human rights involving civil and political rights. Although the Constitution is not explicit with respect to economic, social, and cultural rights, the Commission interprets its mandates broadly to include monitoring and investigation of economic, social, and cultural rights violation, considering that human rights are interdependent and universal. Besides, our country has subsequently ratified the International Covenant on Economic and Social and Cultural Rights. Uh, this interpretation is also supported by the minimum international standards for the establishment of national human rights institutions called the Paris Principle that requires national human rights institution to have broad mandate. Against this backdrop, the CHR and human rights community has been, for years, advocating for the enactment of a CHR charter that will clarify its status, structure, mandate, composition, power, and methods of operation that will strengthen the CHR in terms of protection and promotion of human rights. Internationally, the strengthening of the Commission on Human Rights as the National Human Rights Institution of the Philippines is among the recommendations during the 41st session of the UPR Working Group in November 2022. Similar recommendations were made by various treaty bodies such as the Committee Against Torture, the Committee on Economic, Social, and Cultural Rights, the Committee on Civil and Political Rights. The same recommendations are echoed as well by different special rapporteur. Hence, we in the CHR are glad and grateful to be invited to this hearing of the Senate Committee on Justice and Human Rights for the deliberation of the CHR Charter Bills, Senate Bill number 2487 filed by Senator Manuel M. Lapid, Senate Bill number 2440 filed by Senator Robin Hood Padilla, and the Senate Bill number 2582 filed by Senator Loren Legarda. The bills ensure the Commission, as the country's national human rights institution, a broad mandate to investigate not just for violation of civil and political rights, but also economic, social, and cultural rights violations, as well as other sectoral human rights concerns. It also provides a clear, transparent, and participative process for the selection and appointment of the members of the Commission. It ensures protection against reprisals, such as filing of criminal and administrative cases that have no support in law and in evidence, and thus may hamper significant work to protect the victims of human rights violations from further harm. It is hoped likewise that the matter of fiscal autonomy of the Commission in such a way that its full fiscal autonomy is considered as an element of its independence. The Constitution and the EO Executive Order number 163 is clear that the Commission is an independent body focused on safeguarding the rights of every Filipino, regardless of age, religion, sex, gender, or social stature. It thus needs to have the power to allocate funds according to its priorities and to enable it to respond to the demands of the times. With a CHR charter, the Commission could better fulfill its mandate as human rights watchdog as envisioned by the Constitution, and to perform its bridging role between and among the different stakeholders as mandated by international human rights principles. With that, Your Honor, thank you very much.
Thank you, Chairman. Who else among our resource persons wants to share or give us some inputs from DBM? Ayan, itong suki natin to si Atty. Baraan. Sige po, ma'am.
Good
Go ahead.
afternoon po, Mr. Chair, Senator Padilla, and to everyone po. First of all po, we recognize po the intention of the bill, and we recognize the independence of the CHR and its creation under the Constitution po. So, we'd like to manifest po 3 points on the fiscal autonomy, organization, structure, and on earmarking po. So first on the fiscal autonomy, we would like to state po and note that the fiscal autonomy of CHR is not equivalent po to the other constitutional commissions and the SC. So as we can see po, in the Constitution expressly provided under Article 9, Section 5, that the constitutional commissions enjoy fiscal autonomy. However po, under the provision on CHR, it only provides that the approved annual appropriations of the commission shall be automatically and regularly released. And also, may Supreme Court decision na rin po na clarifying the autonomy of the CHR, which is only limited autonomy lang po. So, and just to manifest and to clarify po. And on the organization naman, we also recommend that the CHR to review their existing organization structure. Baka may mga pwede lang pong i-strengthen, and the same shall be subject to the review and approval of the DBM po, evaluation and approval of the DBM. And dun po sa earmarking, may I think yung two Senate bills po indicated earmarking. So, yung current fiscal position po ng government, and we recommend that the same be subject to the usual budget process without indicating po the specific amount in the bill. And finally, dagdag ko na rin po sa mayroon din pong proposal on the creation of institution. I think may existing na po rin na unit under the CHR which conducts mga trainings. So baka pwede po nila i-reconsider without the need of creating po an institute up. Thank you po, Mr. Chair.
Thank you, Attorney Baraan of the DBM. GSIS, I think you're well represented this afternoon, so thank you very much. So who will speak for GSIS? Attorney Yu. Sige po.
Good afternoon,
Yes, sir.
Chair, Senator Padilla. Thank you for inviting GSIS for the deliberation of this bill. We fully support the bill, and for the effect of GSIS is only, I think, on Section 11, but currently on the retirement benefits. But currently, the CHR, as mandated by Administrative Order number 137 or 37 last 137 2005, they were already the chairman and the commissioners were already given the same rank as the justices of the Court of Appeals. So with that provision, by that AO, they are considered a special member of the GSIS, so they have a separate retirement law. The chairman and the commissioners, but the other officers and employees are still under the coverage of GSIS. Mukhang wala man ng bago dito. I think it's still provided in Section 11 that the chairman and the commissioner shall have the same rank as the justices of the Court of Appeals, and the survivorship benefits shall be equivalent to 100%. Ganun yata, no? Of the salary of the deceased chairman or commissioner, which is nag-iba, no? Because under the GSIS it's 50%. But again, because they are considered a special member, so hindi naman sa GSI. So I understand this is allocated by the DBM or the government as special member, no? So yun, I don't think there will be any changes since wala namang provision. So the other officers and employees, upon the effectivity of the bill, will still be a member of the GSS, and they can still under the retirement laws of GSIS.
Pwede pong i-clarify kasi medyo ngayon ko lang ito nalaman din, ano? So ilang commissioners, Chairman? Five.
One chair and members.
Chairman and 5 commissioners.
Four, only four.
And 4. Chairman and 4 commissioners, they are
Considered as
not considered. They are considered as GSIS members. Tama?
special members.
Special members.
But not under the coverage. Hindi na ho under the coverage ng GSIS.
So paano yung retirement nila? Directly from the CHR?
May appropriations at
By appropriation, Your Honor.
By appropriation. But the formula that we, kasi syempre, the appropriation is the amount. Well, how do we arrive at the amount? What is the formula?
Well, the provision of the executive order, I think, EO or AO is similar to the members of the judiciary.
Judiciary. Okay, sir. So so every year we must not forget to appropriate, ganon.
Yes, Your Honor.
Otherwise, pag malimutan, walang matatanggap for that
Yes,
calendar year.
Yes, Your Honor.
Oo, ganun pala ka-sensitive ito. May any other agency na ganyan na pagtrato?
Yes, I think National Labor NLRC,
Okay.
Pati
Yan,
taon.
inote nyo ngayon.
PAO, Public Attorney's Office, the Department of Justice. Although the Department of Justice halos lahat ng fiscals they are under that special law. Iba ding ano nila, they have different scheme, no? Of course, members of the judiciary matagal na silang
Iba,
special
iba
member.
naman talaga yan. No?
Other constitutional body commissions like Civil Service, COMELEC, and COA.
Okay, nagugulat lang ako dun sa executive branch kasi dapat ang general rule, GSIS eh. So nagugulat ako
Yes.
na DOJ, NLRC, ano pa
Yes.
isa?
PAO.
PAO.
Ah.
Oo.
Yes, because these agencies also have been given special laws, no? Marami pang, I think we also attended DFA hearing because they also want a separate return, parang ganun. So, even OGCC and OSG.
Energy regulatory. Chairman, you contribute to any binabawasan din ba?
Yes, Your Honor. Meron po kaming contribution sa GSIS.
Sa GSIS.
Yes. Kaya lang special
Ay.
member po, iba po yung rate. Iba yung rate po.
And yet your benefits are GAA.
Yes.
So parang donor kayo sa GSIS, bale.
No,
May
Pinabalik
sinasabi po yata yung
Hindi.
may special ano yata.
yes. Ever since if an agency would become a special, for example, the chairman commissioners will become special members, they will only contribute a premium equivalent to the life insurance. So wala na yung retirement. So for example, chairman
Okay, wala sila.
the chairman will now contribute but only for the life insurance portion.
Life insurance.
So you're still insured sa life insurance under GSIS.
Oo. Okay, tama. Okay, sa life insurance. Okay, but that's only good for the 5 people in the CHR. All the rest, they follow general rule.
They're
General
still under GSIS.
regular GSIS.